everybody. I just want to thank Hassan and everyone at No One Is Illegal for their hospitality. I've had a great time here. I'm learning a lot about the politics here and what's going on in Toronto, which isn't too different from what's going on in San Francisco, right? And in other cities across the world, basically. So I just wanted to give you some information about Power, the organization that I work with, and who we organize. And then just some more information about, a little bit about the history of the sanctuary city that is San Francisco, and what's going on now and the changes to the sanctuary city in where I work. So, thank you. So basically, my name is Beatriz, and I'm one of the organizers at Power. And Power has two organizing projects. We organize Latina domestic workers, and we also organize African Americans in the Bayview Hunters Point neighborhood of San Francisco. And the reason why a few years back we decided to organize these two communities is because we took some time, we stopped the organizing for a bit and did some research, and we wanted to find out what was going on in the San Francisco economy and which were the communities that were most being affected by the focus that San Francisco had in wanting to bring in highly skilled labor. So biotech people through the .com boom and that kind of stuff. And what we found was that whenever you have these cities, right, these global sweatshop cities, you have an influx of highly skilled people, right? Because you want it to be like the global capital, one of those global capitalist cities, right? So when you have highly skilled people coming in, they need to work. And so they need people who are going to clean their homes. And they need people who are going to take care of their children in order for them to go out and make all the money and be the big capitalists that they want to be, right? And so we found out and we realized that the people who were doing this work for them were undocumented Latinas, right? So women from Central America and Mexico were coming in and were taking care of their children and making it possible for them to become the rich exploiters that they are today. The other thing to highlight about what's going on in San Francisco is that San Francisco is very famous. A lot of people know about San Francisco, but it's not that big a city. It's 7 miles by 7 miles. It's a perfect little square. And so what that means is there's not that much room. And what else do you guys know about California? What's something that people say? What happens in California? Earthquakes, right? Yeah, who said it? Ding, 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 yay, earthquakes. Exactly. So, in San Francisco, you can't build buildings too high because they'll topple over from the earthquakes. So, what does that mean? That means that people need to be pushed out so that these rich people can come in and live. And so that's why we decided to organize African Americans in Bayview Hunters Point. Bayview Hunters Point is on one of the coasts of San Francisco. And so they're getting pushed out more and more. Their homes are being destroyed so that these rich people can come in and live. So that's why we organize these two communities, because we know that low-income people of color and immigrants are often the most exploited and the most taken advantage of, right? So that's what we do at Power. We're a multiracial organization, and we're trying to build solidarity between African Americans and Latinos in San Francisco. We all understand that what's going on in the world is this divide and conquer theory, right? You want to divide communities of color, poor people, you want to pit them together so that they fight each other, and they're not really able to analyze what's going on above them, right? What's going on with politicians, what's going on in the world, what's going on with capitalism and imperialism, right? Because it works to have them fighting against each other, right? So that's what we do at Power. And just a little more information about domestic workers. So let's try something. How many of you have ever worked cleaning someone's home or taking care of someone's kids? Raise your hand. So maybe let's stand up. Stand up, those of you who have. Okay. That's a lot of you, okay. How many of you have parents who did that?
Can you sit back down?
No, you can stay standing up. You especially, Arlene. Parents? My mom. Right, my mom cleaned the house, many homes. How many of you lived or ever employed a domestic worker? Had someone clean your home, right? Or someone take care of your kids, right? again, very few of you. I imagine there might be some of you who might be embarrassed and don't want to say that you do this. But there's no shame in that, as long as you're not exploiting your employee, right? That's part of the problem. There's a big shame, and I think it's part of patriarchy, right? That women should be able to work and clean their homes and be like super women and be able to do everything. There's no shame in hiring someone, as long as you treat them with respect, right? And the problem in the United States with the domestic work industry is that there isn't labor laws that protect domestic workers and the domestic work sector specifically. It's invisible labor. It comes from a history of slavery. And tomorrow, Erlene, who works with one of our allied organizations in Domestic Workers United, is going to be talking more about the conditions of domestic workers in the United States. But it's one of the most exploited industries. Basically, the only rights you have are, as an employee, you have a right to minimum wage, you have a right to breaks, and you have a right to overtime pay. But these laws that do protect workers aren't enforced, especially not when you're dealing with low-income women, immigrant women, right, of color. So what often happens is people are exploited. If you don't want to do this job, you can be easily replaced with somebody else who needs the job, right? If you don't want to do this job, we'll call immigration and we'll have you deported. These kinds of things, the kinds of stories that we heard earlier today. It's no coincidence that a lot of the groups and a lot of the performances we saw featured women talking about their own exploitation, right? So when we're talking about City as a Sweatshop, the people that are most affected are immigrant women of color, right?